Good morning, students. Now we will start the revision of the second chapter, that is sexual reproduction in the flowering plants. Here we start with the first topic. As we have seen, the atlas of flower, which include both the particular male reproductive part and the female reproductive part. A flower, it is considered as a reproductive structure of the angiosperms, and angiosperms are what they are considered as a group of flowering plants. Now, what is floriculture? It is considered as a cultivation of the flowering plants. As we have seen, several hormonal and the structural changes are initiated which lead to the differentiation and development of the floral primordium. Now, what is this floral primordium? It is considered as a particular structure which is required for the formation of the floral bud, and it also bears the inflorescence, and later it develops into the flower. Now within the flower there are two types of reproductive structures are present, that is male and the female. The male reproductive structure is known as endoecium and the female reproductive structure is known as gynoecium. Later they differentiate and develop. Now the first we will see the pre-fertilization event. In this we will see the how the structure, that is the stamen, it is developing. So the typical stamen consists of a long and slender stalk that is known as the filament. This stalk-like structure. The terminal bilobe structure is known as anther. This is anther. This is here the after the anther it is a connective portion, and the long slender-like portion, this is known as the particular filament. Now this particular stamen can be the monothecous, that is in case of hibiscus, and diathecous, that is in brinjal. Now we will further see what is this monothecous and diathecous. The proximal end of this filament, now it will lead to the particular thalamus portion of the flower, or it may be attached to the petal of the flower. Here the diathecous, the anther is bilobed. Now here you can see the two lobes are there in particular, one is this and one is this. Now whenever each lobe is having two theca means this circular portion you can see. So each lobe, whenever there are two theca are there, that is known as the diathecous, and monothecous means only particular one theca is there. So a longitudinal groove is present that separates the theca portion. So here in the middle longitudinal groove is there that separates the both this theca portion. Okay, so this is the particular structure. Here it is known as the microsporangium, as four particular spherical structures are present, and this is whole the anther structure is there. Now here you can see the structure of the anther, that is how it looks whenever we take the particular section, which are the layers are present, that is the outer epidermis layer, then fibrous tapetum layer, and inside the pollen grains are present. Each of this circular structure is known as pollen sac. Here the TS of anther structure it is shown. Here you can see the clear layers of the anther structure, that is the first outermost layer, that is the epidermis, then the endothelium, then the middle layers are there, then microspore mother cells are there inside, which will form further the pollen grains, and the tapetum layer which provide the nourishment to the developing pollen grain. Now diathecous anther structure we have seen, which is a bilobed in nature. The anther is a four-sided, that is tetragonal structure. Four microsporangia are located at the corners, as we have seen, two in each lobe. So two spherical structure we have seen that is present in the each particular lobe, and as a result four microsporangia are there. The microsporangia develop pollen sacs, means they are further responsible for the development of the pollen sac. They extend longitudinally and they are packed with the pollen grains. Structure of microsporangia. If we see the TS of particular microsporangium structure, it appears circular in outline, surrounded by four wall layers, that is epidermis, endothecium, middle layers and the tapetum. Outer three wall layers perform the function of protection, help in dehiscence of anther to release the pollen. And the innermost wall layer is the tapetum, which nourishes the developing the pollen grains. Cells of tapetum possess dense cytoplasm and generally have more than one nucleus. Nucleus divides without cytoplasmic division, and the particular ploidy nature is considered as a polyploidy because many nuclei are present and cytoplasmic division is not there. So the ploidy level of this tapetum is polyploidy. Now whenever the anther is young, a group of compactly arranged homogeneous cells are there. These cells, they are known as group of cells. It will lead to the formation of tissue, and that is known as the sporogenous tissue, which occupies at the center of each microsporangium. The cells of sporogenous tissue undergo meiotic division to form microspore tetrad, and this particular tetras, they are haploid because as they undergo meiotic division, so the particular, whenever the 2n is there, so it will result into the n number of chromosome, and that process is known as microsporogenesis, that is the formation of microspores from microspore tetrads. Here the process is displayed of the microsporogenesis, that is the potential pollen or the potential microspore mother cell undergo meiosis, which will result into the microspore tetrad. They are the four cells haploid in condition and they are grouped together. Whenever they mature, dehydration occurs and they dissociate with each other, and further they will form, means each particular haploid, it will result into the pollen grain formation. So this is the process of microsporogenesis. Now if we see the structure of pollen grain, it represents the male gametophyte. The pollen grain structure, shape, color, design may differ from species to species. They can be preserved as fossils because due to the presence of sporopollen in structure, it can be preserved at a very low temperature, that is at minus 196 degrees centigrade, and which can be further used in the crop breeding programs, and this technique is known as cryopreservation. Now pollen food nutrition value, that is particularly it is important for the athletes and the race horses, means this can be utilized as a nutritional supplement also. Pollen, it is responsible for causing allergy also, and it is responsible for causing many respiratory problems such as asthma, bronchitis, and this disease, they are generally caused by one of the particular pollens of the Parthenium. Now viability of the pollen grains we have discussed, that is how and till what time the pollen remains alive, depends on temperature and humidity. Viability ranges from few minutes to several months. Few minutes, that is in rice, to few months in this kind of family, that is Solanaceae, Rosaceae and the Leguminosae family. Now if we discuss the pollen grain structure, it is divided into two layers, exine and intine. Exine is the outer wall, that is thick, hard, ornamental and made up of sporopollenin, most resistant to the organic material, high temperature, acid and alkalis. The sporopollenin, it is resistant to the high temperature acid alkalis, and there the germ pore, it is also located where the sporopollenin, it is absent, and the pollen tube emerges from this germ pore. The inner wall of the pollen tube contains the intine. It is thin, continuous, and it is made up of cellulose and pectin. Here you can see in the structure, exine structure, that is the outer structure where the sporopollenin it is present, intine, that is containing cellulose, hemicellulose and different other substances. The cytoplasm of pollen grain is surrounded by the plasma membrane. A mature pollen grain consists of inside intine and exine. During development from microspore mitosis, it is consisting of two cells, that is, the vegetative cell, which is also known as tube cell. It is bigger and has abundant food reserve and a large, irregularly shaped nucleus. Generative cell is generally small, spindle-shaped with dense cytoplasm and contains a nucleus. It floats in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell. 60% of angiosperm pollen grains, they are shed at the two-cell stage. In other, the generative cell divide mitotically and result into the formation of two male gametes. Before pollen grains are shed, that is in three-cell condition. So here we end with the particular stamen structure and the pollen grain structure. I hope students this part it is clear to you all. This was the revision of the chapter 2nd. Here with the diagrams it is displayed each and every topic of your NCERT book. I hope you are clear.